Alright, for the YouTube people joining, I'm a League of Legends coach. We do League of Legends coach things like coaching and reviews. Today, Team Heretics against Fanatics, and as always, live on stream, so check that out, link below in the description. Anyway, Team Heretics against Fnatic, what do we know? Team Heretics, still Jankos, still freaking good. Flakked, insane, and Vetheo is playing statics mid laners, right? So that helps them out quite a decent bit as well. Fnatic, also very interesting, they also changed their, they changed the entire bot, they're not just AD carry, right? And Noah and Trymbi have been performing insane. Noah, I think, has a 90 KDA, correct me if I'm wrong on, in the stream chat, right? But I think he has a 90 KDA, and that is adding one death, so you're actually able to calculate it. I think Noah still didn't fucking die, did he? Did he already die? I don't think he did, and he's playing Xayah, right? So he's a little bit cringe, right? Because I don't like Xayah, actually, right? And that does kind of help with the fact of not dying, right? But it's still interesting that he didn't die. Razor actually performing a lot better than previously, right? Humanoid as well, right? And it's regular season Humanoid, and he's performing decent. Welcome to the stream, Frizzy Bears. I mean, at one point I will be able to pronounce your name. At one point. I gotta take some Polish courses. Oscarinin, really, really good. And I'm a Trymbi fanboy, right? So that is, that makes it pretty clear what I think about him. And the Xayah ban, right? So, Team Heretics thinks if we're not gonna win, at least they're gonna make sure Noah dies. That's a good one. I like it. I really gotta take some Polish lessons. I mean, I know one Polish word. Nico, Dravenman against Flakked, right? We talked about it in the G2 review. Flakked, one of the Draven players. Azir, interesting. Luplo is open, so it looks like Fnatic has potentially counter. Yumi and Melee are out, right? What is open? Well, let's start mid laner. Probably just gonna see Luplo. How are we going to see Luplo? At least not Pelios. Vi, okay, interesting. Right, so Team Heretics picking a Vi. What does Vi mean for me? Vi really looks into catch compositions a lot of times, right? And enabling sort of mid laners. I feel like potentially one of the better picks against Vi is actually going for statics mid laners. Because now you get push, and catching them if they all inter-wanted the wave, not as easy. And while Vi is not as bad in skirmishes, she's also not really the best champion, right? And then we might actually see like the Trundle sort of picks again. Although probably Sejani and Maokai are up. We might just see that shit. Aphelios' early pick, like I said, on red side is okay, right? As long as people don't play counters. And that is kind of the problem too, right? He works really, really well as long as people don't play counters, and then there's G2 coming in with Kokma Brom, and now Aphelios is crying, right? Now Aphelios is a little bit screwed. And you've got Trymbi, and Trymbi plays a crazy shit, right? So I really wouldn't be surprised if Trymbi says, if they go Kokma Brom, I go Pale and we win the lane. But that only works if you got a psychopath like Trymbi, and that only works if the coaching staff is up for it. Which most coaching staff isn't, right? So Kokma pick, are we just gonna see Maokai? Are we just gonna see Maokai? Are we gonna see Luplo with statics? It's probably just, yeah. Ooh, okay, Lulu. Okay. They really, really enjoy the Lulu pick here. Aphelios Lulu. You're not gonna pick support then, right? So that is a little bit scary for me, potentially, right? If you're not gonna counter pick support, can they go for a crazy spot lane like Kokma Brom, right? Because quite just now when Jana against it, right, and it turns out it didn't perform that well, right? And if they didn't go Lulu with it, if it was open, then it's probably not a good lane, right? So that kind of opens you up for that. We're just gonna see Vetheo with the lip link, okay, and we're gonna see Cassandra pick. What does it mean? Well, you're kind of hard engaging into Fnatic, right? Luplo is not really that big of a hard again champion. For me, Luplo is basically a poke mage more than an assassin, honestly, right? So in this case, she's outranging, and she's also quite good at catching, right? Which is good against front and back compositions. But there's one thing you can't deny is that Team Heretics is probably going to be very engaged with the composition right now, as long as you don't allow them to engage, right? And for me, that means that if I'm Fnatic, right, I'm probably still just going to commit to big front and back composition, right? We already see the Poppy hover. I mean, I'm not sure if I prefer Poppy over Maokai just now, right? I'll probably still go for Maokai. But Lupla isn't, but Poppy isn't bad, right? And then we can just try to go very, very heavily into the front and back composition. We just have to make sure they don't outrange us. Nautilus ban, I think he's okay, but I'm really looking for Jinx. Jinx for me is a problem. If they can outrange, that for me is a problem. Because Vi, with Lupla, and especially with champions like Jinx and Zeri, although Yuumi and Lulu are out, so you're not going to go Zeri, can really easily go into outrange and re-engage. And now the front and back composition would struggle a little bit, right? So I'd really like a Jinx ban. I don't know, people really don't think it's good, but I'd really like a Jinx ban. Lucian ban. I mean, Lucian also works in these catch compositions, right? But I think Jinx is good. Like, I don't know why people don't go Jinx. Does she not work in scrims? Do people just forget about it? I still think it's really, really fucking good. Rise. I know there was one guy, I think it was Camera in chat, that really tried to tell me that Rise is good, so let's try to figure out if that shit is good. Rise is one of the champions that can easily one-shot a wave as well, though, so maybe he can perform well against front and back. Ooh. Are we gonna see outrange poke into the front and back? Are we actually seeing outrange poke into the front and back? We see Blitzkrieg. I mean, Blitzkrieg is also fine. Blitzkrieg is okay. You know we're like Blitzkrieg enjoys it. You know we're big Blitzkrieg enjoys it. And Olaf. Right, they're very melee heavy. And Varus is not that good against Olaf usually, right? Oh well, AP Varus is. AP Varus kind of okay, right? But AD Varus usually doesn't enjoy Olaf as much, right? Now we're back to picking top laners. And that is like what we talked about with the K'Sante, right? K'Sante allows you to pick champions that are really good against immobile AD carries. And then we're like back to the idea of picking immobile AD carries with K'Sante usually puts you in a position where you have to play an immobile AD carry against champions like Quen and Olaf, right? Or Garen. You probably... Is it as big as I make it out to be? Probably not, right? But I still feel like it's funny, right? That you might be less incentivized to pick immobile AD carries with K'Sante because that kind of opens you up to specific champions that might be very annoying for you. Okay, how does the comp work? I mean, basically, mid lane is push, right? So it's less about actually laying onto mid, which you usually start with Zipper. And it's less about enabling your Rise to actually push, right? It is push, right? So what do? We allow them to rotate because they're gonna one-shot the wave anyway. Is the way I look at Rise. I haven't seen Rise yet, right? So maybe I'm wrong. But that is at the very least how Luplo works. And Fnatic is still kind of playing it like they would against an enabling composition, and that is get some early game vision, right? You respect the value huge amount. And Blitzkrieg didn't even go for the invade here, I think. Right? And that is quite nice, right? So usually when you hear me talk about enabling compositions, right? You often end up with Nautilus and Blitzkrieg. And one of the biggest baits you might get baited by, right, is invading with Blitzkrieg and Nautilus. The reason why I don't like it, right, is if you invade an enemy 5 points, they will scout the invade, and most of the time you're not going to get much out of it. You might get vision on enemy jungle, but if they're most likely just going to look to isolate, spotting where they are usually doesn't matter that much, right? It's often pretty clear what they end up doing anyway. They usually don't have good gank options early on anyway. Is Poppy going to gank Luplo or Varus? Probably not, right? So finding vision is not necessarily going to be as important. And by invading, you open yourselves up to getting like deep water in the jungle, right? Because if you're going to invade, you're not going to invade as one person, right? You're going to invade as multiple people. And if you're going to get invaded as multiple people, well, now you are in a position where they can walk up in the other side of the jungle and get deep vision, right? So I actually really enjoy picking Blitzkrieg. I'm not getting baited by level 1 invades. I like level 1 plays for vision, don't get me wrong, right? But I think it is actually bad for you in these sort of games, for vision. I think it's actually bad for you.
People actually thought the summer was it, right? And then they ended up losing the rogue in the semi-finals. But that roster, that was that insane Humanoid play. Remember the Silas in the bot lane? It was a lot of people were optimistic.
I think it's actually incorrect. Mersa, really nice attempt by the way. That is really cool. That is actually a really nice attempt. So good vision early on Jankos. And I'm wondering if Razor is potentially looking for an invade as well, right? A main idea for me, if I usually see these enabling junglers or enabling mid sections like Luplo and Vi, at least early on pre-statics, is about making sure our mid lane is full. And for that, what do we want to do? Know where enemy jungler is, right? So direct vision. Knowing where they path through, which is very important, and only then do we really care about vision for our laner directly. And it looks like Razor is actually looking for an invade as well. Why can that be good? Because enemy jungler is very old reliant, right? So even though you set yourself behind, in a way, by invading, it doesn't matter because the most important thing is setting the enemy behind. Right, so getting a kill here would be nice, but it doesn't really matter. Right? Why does it not really matter? Because if you're playing against Vi, then laying their level 6 is the most interesting thing for you, and it didn't work out because Razor fucked up his smite. I didn't have smite. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. There's a fucking fly in my face. What the fuck? Can you chill, bro? Can you chill? It really likes my coffee breath, it seems like. My girlfriend doesn't, but the fly really seems to like it. This fly really fucking likes it. Huh? Relax, bro. Relax. What the fuck? Okay, let's focus on the game again, then. But the fly really liked the coffee breath, it seems like, right? So Razor tries to find the invade here. And in a way, you could argue it's not as good of an invade because he wasn't able to take away the camp, right? And it makes sense. But even if it doesn't work out, right? Even if you don't get the camp, even if you don't get the kill, it is still an okay play. Why is it still an okay play? Because no matter what, Jankos level 6 is delayed. Right? No matter what, his level 6 is delayed. And Vi's level 6 is one of the most important things for her in the game. Maybe, like, honestly, the most important things, right? So just delaying that is already pretty decent. So getting early vision, good. And denying her the level 6 as much as you can, or delaying it at the very least, you probably can't deny it, is quite nice. And what is the next play here on the map? It is top side dive, you just goes to it, dive, good, nice.
He saw the opportunity after forcing Jankos out of his own jungle. He knew that with Jankos' health bar, there was little he could do to support his top laner. And with some great trading from Oscarinin, Fnatic draw first blood. 800 gold lead to boot. That's the power of the Olaf into Casante early on.
Right, so that is quite nice. That is quite nice. Oscarinin didn't get his base yet though, so that kind of feels bad. Ooh. Eva pops Ghost and Oscarinin still pops off. Jankos gets some decent vision. 4 mid. 1 right, and also honestly make sure he doesn't get easily invaded on again. Mid lane is, or would be the gankable state, but it's Luplo with Flash. How the heck are you ever gonna gank that? So Humanoid just stays out of wave. Why does he clear it out? Because he doesn't want to enable Luplo different wave state to go reset on it. He really wants to just make sure it's going to be a TP trade, right? But right now, honestly, Rise doesn't seem like the most insane champion here. But it does seem like a champion that can just one-shot the wave a little bit as well. Eva getting traded on a lot. Razor trying to chunk him even harder. And while Jankos does end up getting the dragon, Oscarinin gets really fed. And this can be a bit of a problem, right? Because that is what I said. And that is what might actually be not as good to pick Cassandra with the mobile 80 carries. Because Cassandra's falling behind against Olaf. Playing Varus against a fed Olaf. Maybe not that much fun. Maybe not that much fun. Like, even going for comments, so they actually picked Varus as an outrange poke sort of lane. Wait, Razor got it? Okay, Razor got it this time at least. Another small victory can get something back. Is that a short joke? Yeah. Just a small victory on the Poppy. Nothing acquired in the end for okay, sorry, I'm a bit tired. I'm sorry for the yawn. I'm sorry. I'm hopefully not making you tired as well. I slept too much today. I actually slept well today, right? But I slept too much. Top 2, you can avoid being in a group G2, which increases the probability of you being able to get top 4, which for both these teams they desperately want, because if they cannot win the split, they're going to have to rely on championship points. Can Humanoid easily push in the wave? Because right now, Humanoid should be in a position where he does end up getting mid lane push very easily, I think. Until level 6, right? So now Razor is actually kind of incentivized to make sure his lane is fine. And that is by setting up some decent vision. Herald is the next play. Jankos is not level 6, he's like 3. 2 comes off? Depends if he got lane experience. I think it's 2 comes off. And it's gonna be interesting for Jankos to actually get it, right? He's trying to find the invade. Because he might expect Razor to directly play for Herald here. Because botlane is a wave stick as well, Razor's main priority right now is actually making sure that his botlane is fine, right? Because it doesn't, like, you're not going to lose Herald because of it, because Oscarinin is so strong. And he's right? So you could technically go for it, right? So they get the crash, but there's no doubt opportunity at the very least. Jankos does not have his level 6 yet, right? I actually quite enjoy what Mersa is doing as a reaction though, because they're just full swapping. Because otherwise you're not going to be that easily able to. But it turns out Fnatic is also just... What? Because I thought that Fnatic would just get for the cross map. You've got a Felius, right? He's decent mana. They're full swapping. Okay, well, okay, so Fnatic just defended their camps. Nice, right? They made sure their bot lane is fine. Okay, sure. And that just means, okay, nice rotation. They're just going to full swap Team Heretics will get Herald for it. But nope, they won't. Seemingly, they fucking won't. Because Humanoid just one-shots the wave. Vetheo can't match that. Tries to take the wave here as well. And then Humanoid just fucking rolls in. And the Poppy ult is just broken as always. I mean, honestly, the game is in a very insane spot for Fnatic. Very insane spot. Very, very, very insane spot. Lupo should have aesthetics soon, right? So maybe they, maybe Team Heretics in a better position to play then, right? But Razor did a very, very good job at delaying Jankos level 6 and his early game plays, right? Because finding him early on, denying him, making him reset, also makes it so he can't enable his mid laner to get statics early as well, right? Because when you have a statics mid laner, you of course also want to make sure they get statics ASAP. But Razor keeps finding Jankos. Okay, well now he just fucking dies for it. What? Never mind. Trymbi's 1v9. But Jankos also uses ultimate, right? So did Razor have to flash? Yes, but Jankos uses ultimate. And Razor's flash honestly doesn't matter that much, right? So now there's extra time where Jankos doesn't have his ultimate, so it feels really, really bad for him to not be able to actually get something out of it. And if you're a good team, you actually track by his ultimate quite well as well. You've got Herald, you just force a topside play. And now you push out top, and you should be able to get your first reset. Noah probably has his game force here. And does he? You can sell Carl, probably has his game force here. Oh! Man, this Olaf champion is not balanced. This Olaf champion is not balanced, by the way. I mean, it's an EU pick, like, I'm really, like, confused why this champion is not being played in, like, other regions. And I'm also confused why Olaf has such low priority in the ERLs, man. This champion is not balanced. This champion is not balanced. I mean, the one, like, really big ERL game that I saw Olaf being played was Arsenal Force against COG in round 1, where Sen was, like, 14-0. That game I remember. But TUG tried to find a crossover play on the top lane. And Sven just got a triple. I'm back, how are you doing? Welcome back, man. How did your solo queue game go? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking, man. How about you? Right? But Team Heretics trying to get a play into Olaf. Olaf does not care. I mean, Eva dying to that is like honestly like a little bit cringe. But... I mean, this game is like kind of rough, man. What can I tell you? Lupo does have her statics here, so maybe she can push out a wave and look to shift. Maybe. But I still think it's going to be quite hard to contest in mid-section at this point. Because the right side is actually really strong. But, well, you've got Poke, Varus, you're sitting on Yomos, you've got Blitzstring. I guess you can sort of contest actually. It's not even that easy for Fnatic to contest, even though they have. Because they're actually quite strong in mid-section here. They're very good at one-shotting people. And it's also hard to shift in between because there's a lot of catch potential while it's out of Team Heretics, right? So I guess Fnatic actually needs to respect a little bit. But it's also a little bit of a problem that we don't have Oscarinin on the side of the Cassandra, right? Because Oscarinin would really prefer like playing against Cassandra by a huge amount. So I'm wondering if they're just gonna try to reswap here. They're not. Why? I'd rather have Humanoid on bot. Humanoid has teleport. Now you can't contest. Oscarinin being bot lane right now feels horrible. Why is Fnatic contesting with Oscarinin bot? Why? Isn't it just way better if they wanted to contest, that after this shift up by Olaf, that Rice and Olaf just swap side lanes? Isn't that just way better? Not a cute disaster. I played 4 games and the only one I was with Marvin 1v9 Ultra. You won with Marvin? I mean, that's an accomplishment, no?
Currently has like 90 KDA. It's been 12 days, 22 hours, 58 minutes, and 55 seconds exactly since Noah was last killed. So we'll keep that until he either dies or crests the 100 KDA mark here, buddy. So the fight does begin around the Vetheo. Well, the thing is, Fnatic started by pushing in midway.
But yeah, like, I don't understand why Fnatic tries to contest. I mean, I guess Razor maybe just tries to get the ult onto Vine and just the Herald steal, right? But it's still weird for me. Because for me, like, why do you have to give it up? Especially because you play against a catch composition, right? You're front and back composition on the side of Fnatic. You're playing against a catch composition. You don't want to give them Herald if you don't have to, right? You really want to make sure you keep this T1 mid. And without the Herald, keeping this T1 mid is going to be quite easy, I think. Like, they got good siege potential, right? So they can siege a little bit, right? But it's still going to be pretty easy. And keeping this turret is, of course, very, very nice for you because they want to catch you. They want to run you down. With this mid lane T1 still up, it's a lot harder for them. And now they can chunk it and potentially even take the turret. Yeah. Why do you give the Herald? Do you think you will actually lose the fight? Because I doubt you will. Sure, blue side is not that weak right now, but you're actually really strong. Olaf is a menace right now. Look at how strong Olaf is. And that just sucks. They get a second charge onto mid lane as well. That's horrible. If you lose one fight, you lost mid lane T2 as well. As a front and back composition, that makes the game so much harder to play. I feel like it's a major mistake by Fnatic, and if there's anyone in chat that can if anyone in chat disagrees, please let me know, right? But for me, I'm very, very much interested in keeping mid in lane T1. And at the very least, right, don't get caught. So when they go for the Herald play, they don't instantly get it because your mid lane turret is full HP, right? If they only get a charge, at least it will still be up. At least you will be able to play for it with the mid lane T1 until the next play you lose. But now without mid T1 it makes it so much harder. By the way, good control it because now you're really scared of TP plays. You're really, really scared of TP plays. And TP plays, of course, are a lot more incentivized for Team Heretics because you play against front and back composition, right? Ranks are a lot more interesting for you.
And then Humanoid, well, they won't call him Machine Gun Rise for, no reason. So I think Heretics, the fact that they find themselves in this deficit is cause for concern. Dragon spawning in 15 seconds. We'll see if they can find.
I mean, come on, it's not Machine Gun Rise anymore. Like, Machine Gun Rise used to be a lot more broken.
Very strong position to win team fights, and it actually looks like Heretics are even going to take the second round of the game for Fnatic, the third in total secured in this match.
I still remember Machine Gun Rise.
All Fanatics right now. Mersa may look for the hex flash hook. Here we go. Humanoid got flash.
Yep. Do you guys see the problem about why I really would like Fnatic to keep the mid lane T1? Do you see why I said that it's a bad idea to drop the mid lane T1 like that? And welp. Do you see the reason? Do you guys see the fucking reason? And now you really have to play around side. You really have to play around side. And against Lupo, it's not easy to play around side because you just one shots away and she's impossible to get to catch, right? So Lupo should just match the Olaf side, right? And you're gonna be in a better position, right? And the team that answers is in the position to decide who answers whom. So for me, it's very important for Vetheo. It's very important for Vetheo, in my opinion, to keep his teleport because you would really like him to match Olaf. Because due to you not having both of those mid lane T1 mid lane turrets, 1 and T2, I think it's gonna be quite hard for Fnatic to actually set up free mid. Unless they force Nash. Because it feels weird, right? Because Fnatic is ahead. But because they're playing in front and back composition, against the catch composition, and they don't have mid lane turrets, it is so much harder to play the game. So much harder. Unless you just flip Nash. Yeah, I'd also flip Nash. The game is said it's really rough to play. Like, it's weird because you're far ahead, right? But the game set fucking sucks. Good. But you see how obvious it is, right? Based on the composition, how the teams need to approach the game. Do you guys see how obvious it is? And now you try to find any catch you can because all of them with Emerald kind of suck. No, I died. GG. No, not on Zaya. Fnatic, can you please just fuck off and keep your Nash? Like, no flame, by the way, no flame. But can you please just fuck off and utilize your Nash? Yeah. Well, that feels, of course, a little bit bad. And with a little bit, I mean, it does feel quite bad. Lose all of your Nash here. Except for Oscarinin. Oscarinin gets out at least, right? Not able to kill Vetheo, so that kind of feels bad.
The KDA is torn apart as Heretics do something that only G2 have been able to do this split. Find another kill onto Noah. But what was a great Baron play, it seems that Fnatic just overreached. And the way in which Heretics responded was so clean as well. Jankos ulting straight onto Noah, the chains.
Oh yeah, I really like Fnatic one-shotting Nash. Going Nash is good. Going Nash is great. Because even though you were ahead, or like you still are ahead, right? The game set feels so rough to play. I mean, Poppy's fucking broken. I mean, Poppy's legit, like, completely nutsy, man. I hate this champ so much. I mean, I love this champ and I hate this champion at the same time. I still remember playing competitive and doing dragon contest and me just like all things enemy jungle out of dragon pit and just getting their dragon. But then again, I'm still sad that I used to be like also play Channel and Poppy like every game. Well, it won us games. I really didn't mind actually. At the end, I got Eagle and I played Careful's every game. Careful's and Heckram Gaming every game. And the promoters in Division 3. Anyway, to get back to the game. Fnatic is able to pick up Drake. And why are they able to get Drake? Because you killed Jankos, right? And now Fnatic is on front of back position. They can play it out. Now it's hard for Team Heretics to contest. And Mountain Dragon is of course very good because Team Heretics is all about one-shotting you. I mean, they're also like kind of poke, right? But they're playing a lot of catch compositions, right? And if I mean, they are mostly catch composition, right? And if they want to catch you, well, they need to kill you, obviously. For example, like that. Ooh, close. Ooh. That was a lot of damage, but Noah is still not in a position where he can get threatened. And he finds a huge... Oh, look at those chakrams. Ooh. I feel like if Vetheo actually gets hit by like 1 Q there with all of those chakrams, I think he's legit like minus 60% HP. Heretics tries to find it. Trymbi finds... the lip dot chain to the face. And then he's just dead. Like, he's just freaking dead, man. And it's a push out by the side and then try to shift. I mean, I guess you're answering bot and then I guess you're trying to shift into mid. It's just so hard to play without those mid turrets. Do you see how far Noah has to stand back? And that's what I meant, right? Keeping mid T1 is so important. It's so important, especially because it results in you get a card. They even got the chunk onto mid 92. And then the second you get called once, I got mid 92. That is why getting this Herald is really important. That is why if they get Herald not randomly dying is really important. Otherwise they just get the entire turret with. Because now setting yourself up to be the 5-man deathball composition that Fnatic wants to be is a lot harder. It's so much harder actually. Right? Ooh. Well, they reset and you just fucking on Ash. Yeah, there's Rise Up, but they're still too slow. Team Heretics with Nash now is really, really rough. You end up probably losing this dragon, but it's fine. I don't think I'd even contest it as Team Heretics. Like, it feels bad to lose Elder, to lose Mountain Soul, but I don't think I contest. I try to go for steal, but I don't think I contest. I think contesting is bad. I don't know what Mersa does. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, I guess Luplo is finishing the game. That's why they're fighting. I guess Luplo is sort of finishing the game. That's why they're fighting. Okay, yeah, never mind. They're fighting because you want to enable your side laning. That is okay. That is okay. That is okay, actually. I'm wondering if it might have just still been better for like 2 people to do the same play and then also play top lane for you to get top lane T2. But yeah, I mean, it's still fine. It's not as Nash steal, Luplo's Nash steal, which is the most important. But there's one person in mid and like 2 people inside that can keep Nash. I think that's quite decent. I know you had to use flash for that at least, right? So that's at least. I know he's a mega fat, but you really have to play very hard around side lanes. Especially GA, BT, Mountain. Really hard to catch. I really dislike what Team Heretics does here. I really dislike it. Why do you 5-man? Why do you 5-man? I mean, by the way, I really like Noah's build. Like, Noah's build is the anti-get-caught build, basically, right? He has BT, fucking GA. Like, he's Mountain Sword as well, right? Like, he's a mega tanky. I really wouldn't mind just going, like, a tank item, 3rd item, honestly. Don't give a shit about armor penetration. But why are we 5-manning mid? Like, you've got Nash on both of your side lanes. Oh, and I guess Nash is running out this second, right? But you've got very strong side lane potential with Luplo. Why not use that? Why are we 5-man front and back team fighting against the 5-man front and back team fight composition as Team Heretics? Why are we team fighting here? There's nothing Fnatic gains by getting mid lane control here. Just please, for the love of God, go side lane. Your sides are need to answer, so you split them up. Like, it's not like, even if you argue, well, we probably can't gain that much on side lane right now. They've got decent wave clear, right? Fair point, but at least split them up so they have a harder time playing the game. Because now look at what happens. Like, you just get clean wipe for fun. Like, you just give them triple kill for fun. Ah, nice. Nice, Vetheo now lost his Magi's. Great. Why are we mid? Why are we in mid? I feel like I don't even think... I'm not sure if it's selling Magi's for needs to large order is actually correct. I guess it might be. Because the mythic passive we get from Night Harvest is not that good. Right, because if you have Proto Belt, even if your Magi's is 0 stack, selling it usually is not that good because you lose Magic Pen. Right, and you don't want to lose Magic Pen because Magi's is a legendary item, right? So you get your mythic passive from it. But I guess mythic passive of Night Harvest is just not that good. Ah, nice, to do front and back, like engage the fight again. Okay, into red white Felius. Okay, nice, okay, sure. I mean, here I kind of understand because now Fnatic is in a really good position. You sort of need to find a catch here. I mean, this fight I kind of understand why you take it. Because you need to take this fight, otherwise they're just going to push out and then you're just going to play their front and back fight in Elder. Which is not really that good for you either. But I don't understand why he did it before. I really don't understand why he did it before. What the fuck? Why? I mean, maybe I'm just wrong about that, right? But I didn't think you needed to. Because there were so many good things that Team Heretics did this game. I felt like they did a great job. I mean, first of all, I thought Fnatic had a really good early game, right? Got themselves a dragon, very, very nice, tried. And this Zero play, we talked a lot about it, that it was really horrible. But good for Team Heretics, you like full standard on it, right? Good for you to try to find a play onto mid. You even get a charge. Fucking huge, right? Fnatic's first move, because they had an earlier reset, they played that mid shift into bot side, right? They played the dragon, you punish it by going for a catch, getting mid T2. I thought what Team Heretics did was great for the composition, right? And even though Fnatic is ahead, right? They're 4k gold ahead, you see how they don't really have control of the map. So Fnatic feels forced to go for the Nash, which I like, right? I mean, you heard me talk about it on stream. Like I said, okay, Fnatic should just like rush Nash, because I feel like the map state Fnatic is in feels actually horrible. If I'm Fnatic right now, I feel like I'm in a bad position. So going for the Nash one shot, I feel like it's great. You've got Rice, you've got a Fellies, you've got all of you have a lot of damage, right? Sure, go ahead. I really like it. Now Fnatic just fucking froze it again. Like, now Fnatic just froze it again, so that feels horrible, of course. Right? Oh, with Nash is still like in a better position again. But Team Heretics is doing a great job. They're doing so many things really well. Like, they're playing well around side and they're getting decent catches. Like, it's a little bit handshaky because Noah plays his fights a lot, really well and gets a lot out of these fights, right? And gets really, really strong. Right, but at this point, I still feel like both compositions can really win, right? But like, both compositions are honestly in a state where they can win. Team Heretics plays it very smart. Scout that I see on the reset. Alright, so what do we do if they send the reset? We just not rush Nash. Good. They're positioned for Mountain because of it? Yeah, that's fine. We just potentially play for this tier, and otherwise we play for the cross map, which they sort of do. In my opinion, it's probably better for someone to just be top lane. I don't know if you're going to play for steal and to just delay them resetting, do you really need 4 people? Can't it just be 3 and then you just play top lane T2 as well and potentially top lane T3 chunk, right? I think it's probably better to just have Cassandra on top lane, for example, right? Because you still have Nash, right? It's a huge amount of damage. So yeah, I don't really like them being stuck here as 3 people. Because I think you can slow chase. And then it's really fine. Do you need to be here as 4? I don't think you need to. And then you just get top lane T2, potentially T3 chunk. Look at how much charm you have, right? So someone right now, strictly in top. But now they're hitting T2. And of course the fight is going a lot longer, right? But now they would probably start to answer. And then it probably answers mid lane first. And then you could potentially just chunk T2, like T3 at the very least, right? But T2 is for sure gone. And then I think you get even more out of it. And Fnatic doesn't get as much out of the fight. It's a little bit bad. Which is decent, right? But it does really little.
You'll see in the bottom of your screen right now, observe if we can also highlight even the skill comes down to Flakked. Can we go back a little second? Because Eddie tries to...
I love Ghost Eddie carry.
Just ended the game right then and there. But,
right. But the most annoying thing for me was this fight. Like, you're first on the map, so you're looking for a catch, which I think is decent, right? But why not just continue to play around side? I don't understand that. Why look for catches here? Why not just take the wave lead before they can re-rotate, have someone on side lane, push that shit out, and keep pressuring? Why not? Like, it's so weird to me. Instead, what you do is you give them time to creep up together, right? And you allow the team that wants to have a 5-man front back team fight to have a 5-man front back team fight. Why? Why? And this feels horrible. And afterwards, like, Fnatic is in the winning position. They win this fight, now they're in the winning position. Why? First reset, open map, you can just run it down 500. Right? And now, why is that a bigger problem? Because Team Heretics now needs to find a fight. Because Elder is coming up, right? So if Fnatic keeps gaining position, and silence are kind of fixed, right? You will never be able to get a win condition on sideline at this point, right? Now Team Heretics need to find like a flip fight, which is really hard because, look, they've got a front and back composition, right? You don't really have flank TP. Well, you have a little bit, right? So maybe you can play through that. They have like a decent fight, right? But otherwise, Fnatic will just fall back onto Elder. And you don't have any flank position there, because you will need to get there, and you don't have any wards here. So the best fight you might potentially get is through mid. So I understand why Jankos is going in. I didn't like the way they do it, because I feel like Evi right now, like the second they play on this top, on this turret here, I don't know why Flakked is in base right now. Because he gets the armor pen item, yeah. Right? But either way, I feel like Evi right now needs to teleport, and then you try to get like a decent fight here. Because it's correct for Jankos to look for right now. I don't think it's that well set up. I think Evi for sure needs a flank TP. I have no idea why the fuck why Evi is the fuck here. There's a flank TP watch here. Please flank TP. You're playing against a front and back composition, at least get yourself a flank. Why is that not clearly communicated? Because right now you're just answering. Look how split Team Heretics is for the fact that you have basically 1 minute to set up this fight because you know it's gonna happen. You know Fnatic will run down mid, 5-man deathball, they're not gonna take a single chance to fuck it up, right? And then they're gonna fall back onto Elder. Can you please explain to me why Evi is not flank teleporting after you have at least a minute of time to actually set this play up? Because you know it's gonna happen. You know this is going to happen. So you're setting up cross maps. Look this vision, right? Mersa set up cross map TPs. These are new wards, no? These are all new wards for the fact they actually play topside. All of those are flank TP wards. Can you please tell me why we're not setting up for a decent fight? Because Jankos understands that he needs to fight right now. So he's throwing in. Right? It's correct by Jankos. You don't have time. They're going to push out this wave. They're going to leave for Elder. You need to fight right now. Right? So it's correct by Jankos. But why the heck is Evi here? Why? He's teleports. Why is he not flank TPing? Like Fnatic didn't even play to deny flank teleports that well. Like a little bit, but not nearly enough. And here you are as Evi, completely AFK, joining the fight way too late. How cringe is it? How can you make these sort of mistakes? Because these sort of mistakes are just illegal, right? There's some TP flanks, then you might be able to counter, but they're just really, really good plays. Or there's some things where you might not have enough time to communicate it, right? So you don't find it, which I all think are viable mistakes you can make, right? But making this sort of mistake is horrible. Not finding the TP flank here is horrible. There's not much more to say about this. Maybe I'm blind, but this is a normal ward. This is not a blue ward. This is a normal ward. This is a blue ward. This is a normal ward. How the fuck do you not find this? Horrible. Actually horrible. And you know that I don't like flaming players. But Evi is making massive mistakes here. Either Team Heretics has a fundamentally flawed system in terms of their sort of fight setup here, or Evi just doesn't fucking do it. Either one of those. But either one is really horrible. Okay, DIEMdodo mold end. Any questions? My mold has ended. Any questions? I'm eating some peanuts. Yummy. I'm questioning my life, but no. Relax, when you lost 150 AP, you will get it back. Climbing is a time game, man. If you're good, you will always make it back. So focus on improvement.
Some things change and some things stay the same. Fnatic and G2 find themselves at the top.
At least I played decent. Even if you didn't. So what? LP will come and go. Improvement will stay. Learn from those games, no matter what happens, right? Try to give your best to learn from these games. And then go next. That's the only thing you can do in League. Anyway, it doesn't seem like there are any questions. Otherwise, in case you're watching this YouTube and you got to this point, check out the other videos. Check out the socials link below the stream. Below the video. And otherwise, currently we've got a coaching discount going on, so check that out. Up to 10-year reduce from 25 to 15, so pretty big discount. Until the 13th of July, right, so check that out. Otherwise, hopefully see you guys in the next video, or on my stream. Have a very, very nice day, and I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.